As we were left off with Mr. Cochran, we expect for you to act appropriately for it. All right, so we're going to start the proceedings now. Prosecutor, you have anything else before we get started? Defense? What's this?
I think we're good.
We're good?
No, you're not.
All right, thank you very much. All right, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, it's your responsibility to look at the facts. The defendant is innocent until proven guilty. It is the responsibility of the prosecutors to find the defendant guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. It is your responsibility to look at the facts and determine beyond a reasonable doubt. There cannot be any doubt in your mind once you look at this evidence. Okay? The opening statements, the statements made by the attorneys, that is not evidence. Only the evidence presented will you examine. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yes? All right. Thank you. Okay, let us begin. We're going to ask the prosecuting team to give their opening statements.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, on behalf of the State of California versus Mr. Gallardo, who's sitting here right here in the blue shirt and tie, on March 30th, 2011, at approximately 1:45 p.m., on the roof of parking structure 8 at West Los Angeles College, Christina Gallardo was dropped off by her boyfriend, Adam Gonzalez. That is when Mr. Gallardo fatally stabbed Mrs. Gallardo, who was trying to leave with her friend Nicole Devon. Nicole was doing a project for school when she took pictures of the suspect fleeing the scene. Mr. Gallardo was a jealous man who found out that Christina was committing adultery a week prior to her death. Members of the jury, adultery is not a crime. However, it's morally wrong, but we're not here for that matter. We are here because of a jealous man, Mr. Gallardo, like I said, who's incarcerated, who's sitting in there, who decided to brutally, maliciously, and cowardly take the life of his wife. Based on the physical evidence, and the case of the testimonies of the expert witnesses of the Culver City Police Department, and another witness from the Criminal Investigation Unit, who has experience of convicting murderers like Mr. Gallardo. Furthermore, that this is not their first merry-go-round. So take this into consideration as of today, May 13th, 2011, as I stand before you guys and listen to all the facts of this case, to keep an open mind and open heart. The state of California will prove today, beyond a reasonable doubt, that there's no ifs, no ands, no buts, that Mr. Gallardo committed this heinous act, and he deserves to face the consequences to his actions. Thank you.
Ms. Steve, you ready for your opening statement?
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, it is a mistake of fact that the prosecution is attacking a mourning widower rather than finding the killer of this heinous crime and delivering justice to a family who has lost someone so dear to them. Or delivering justice to a heinous, vicious, heartless assailant who took a life. He ended the life of a young, loving, caring Miss Christina Gallardo, the wife of Mr. Gallardo. We all know that the system isn't perfect, the justice system that is, and it malfunctions every once in a while. And very often it needs tune-ups, and that's why we're here today. Our justice system has malfunctioned and inaccurately accused Mr. Christopher Gallardo of murdering his wife, the woman whom he loved and married. Something he wouldn't even fathom to do throughout his life. Nevertheless, you as the jury can handle this tune-up, so to speak. You have the power to correct the injustices brought to him by the state. Christopher Gallardo did not murder the woman whom he loved and married and promised his life to. will prove his innocence and leave the decision making up to you.
Okay, prosecutors, are you ready to finish the case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead.
I'd like to call my first witness, Officer Luis Perez, to the stand.
Raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, nothing but the whole truth, so help you.
Can you please, what did you say? Yes?
Yes. Officer Perez from Court City Police Department, P-E-R-E-Z.
Can you briefly describe when you arrived at the crime scene, what happened, or what you saw?
Okay, it was March 30th, 2011. I was on a routine traffic stop, Washington, Oregon. Around 1:45 p.m. I got a possible murder call at Westside College, parking structure. I arrived around 1:55 p.m. at the scene. That's when I encountered witness Nicole in shock, answering that her friend was dead. She was stabbed. So when I approached the victim, she was laid on the floor, on top of the parking structure, stab wounds to her abdominal area, and that's I checked for her vitals if she was still alive, and I think I got no response. By that time, EMS came in. They pronounced her dead. Within a couple minutes, around 2 o'clock, I secured the crime, make sure I stated got everybody's statements from the witnesses.
How long did EMS or the paramedics arrive before you got there, or after you got there?
I arrived at 1:55. They arrived around around 2 o'clock.
Is this 2 a.m.?
No,
2
2 p.m. Sorry, 2 p.m.
You checked Christina's pulse.
Yeah, checked for her vitals. I got no response. Didn't declare her dead. I had to wait for EMS.
Did EMS declare her dead?
Yeah.
When you approached Nicole Devine, what did she say to you when you approached her?
She was really shocked, and she was screaming, "My friend is dead. My friend is dead," and she had been stabbed.
She said that she'd been stabbed?
Yeah.
Did she tell you who she was stabbed by?
Well, I was trying to calm her down. She was in shock. She mentioned something about her boyfriend stabbing her. At first I was trying to calm her down, but I had her take me to the scene. Didn't really get that much information at the time, but once she calmed down, yeah, she mentioned that her boyfriend stabbed her. Not her boyfriend, her husband. Her husband stabbed her. Real jealous husband that she had.
Did you ask her any questions about what was used or about the knife in the crime scene and how it was obtained?
Well, when I arrived at the scene, I seen the knife around maybe, I'll say 20 feet from the crime scene. She said that the guy in the black hoodie stabbed her and just ran off towards the stairs.
Based on your experience as an officer, would you say that parking structure was a good hiding place for someone to stab someone and get away with the crime?
Of course, yeah, had a lot of cars. It's a good way to hide. They get away.
No further questions, Your Honor.
And then the cross-examination?
John. Mr. Perez, you said you heard the call at 1:45, and you arrived at 1:55, correct?
Yeah.
You said that when you got there, you noticed her laying on the floor. You noticed her stab wounds.
Right.
Wounds with an SFN, you said. But isn't it in the autopsy report there's only one wound?
Well, at the time, I